As a small biz pro, and so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Christo
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, we're going to have an amazing show. You guys are going to love this. We're going to be talking about valuation for your business. We're going to be talking about all kinds of fun stuff. But before that, I got to find out what my co-host is doing. So, co-host, what's been going on with you?
I think it's been a quiet week. Well, sort of quiet because, everybody's rushing next week, October 16th.
Oh, yes,
is
yes.
The day that if you extended your taxes, this is the day you got to actually go out and do your taxes now.
The infamous D-Day.
The infamous D-Day. So you pushed it. Everybody pushed it off as long as they possibly could push it off. So now it's time to actually see the piper. and which is actually kind of a good thing, because tonight we're going to talk about business valuation, but we're also going to talk about something that's in the headlines right now. And it's all about making sure that your taxes and your financial statements are the real deal.
It's in reality mode.
It's in reality mode. And also we're going to talk about how you as the business owner is responsible for making sure that when you sign off on anything, including your business valuation, including your bank loans, that everything that you provide to those entities are accurate and truthful.
That's right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, because who got in trouble, and who used to be the former president of the United States.
The Orange Man.
Yeah, right. And he got in trouble because he thought, and this is something, I do work for public companies, and I'm actually working with a public company right now, and public companies are audited every year, and they also have to submit their financial reports every quarter. And they, the auditors ask very deep questions. The other agencies or organizations that are audited are nonprofit agencies. Once they get over a certain dollar amount, I think it's like $250,000, right? Because you're doing public service work, right, and getting public service sponsorship. And so you usually have to be they're on top of it. But our private companies think they're exempt from that. They think because they're a private company, they can do what they want when they want. And that is not exactly the truth. You actually do have to have some accountability. So that's what we're going to talk about, the accountability. But today, this week, pretty much that's what I was doing, Gilbert. I was finishing up with some clients that have pushed things down to the very last minute.
Yeah.
And so it's not as intense as in April, but it kept me busy. And then I had a couple of classes as well. So that was my week. How about yours?
Oh man, mine was just it was busy trying to make sure we get our small businesses ready. We're trying to prepare them for the 2026 and 2028 situation there. With the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup and all of that, we're trying to make sure they're actually ready so they can get a piece of the pie. Even though we're taking them kicking and screaming, I'm still doing that with them, just trying to make sure that, man, listen, guys, you gotta get in and be ready so you can tap into some of these opportunities. So that's really what we're doing.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool. Yes. Your background is gone. Do you know this?
I know what's going on there.
Are you trying to get back to it?
I just click on this thing there, and all of a sudden my background is gone, What the heck?
Well, while Gilbert is getting his background, we want to welcome you to the Business Zone, but we also want you to go over to our YouTube channel. We want you to hit that subscribe button. Last week, and I hope the guy comes back because you actually offered him a little concession prize last week.
Yeah.
But last week we made and it is our 500 subscribers. Now we need to work on our next 500 subscribers. So hopefully we'll get there faster than we did before.
Right.
It took a minute for us to get there. But for you guys that tuned in and you are watching us from YouTube, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. For those of you that are watching us on our other platforms, which is Facebook, Minds, and Gilbert's, and my other organization, and YouTube and LinkedIn. You can find us at those 4 different locations right now. Please hit the subscribe button. Come over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You can go back over there if that's where you are comfortable watching it. That's cool. And we love the fact that you're subscribing to our Facebook page. It's awesome. But we also need you to subscribe at our YouTube channel because it actually counts more over there than it does over there at the Facebook. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we are going to get started, or Gilbert is still
I have no idea what's going on there. I have no idea what's going on, man.
You're having challenges?
Yes. All of a sudden, my background disappears, and okay. So
all righty. Well, while he's getting his background, I do want to share a couple of things. So, Recycling Black Dollars, which is the organization that I let me go over to my Facebook page so you guys can see it over there, which is the organization that I co-direct. We are having a great presentation next week by, let me get over here to our page so I can share the event with you. Southern California Edison actually sponsors the Recycling Black Dollars, and so we signed up for a number of classes to introduce to our network. And so one of the classes is next week. So I'm trying to get over to RBD real quick so I can share with you the details. So here's the thing, guys. As business owners, we need to accumulate and acquire as much information as we possibly can get. And if you can get it free, that's at free.
Free
That's
99.
Free 99. That is the best way that one can get information. So a number of organizations provide workshops and classes every single day of the week. You could actually do more of that than you can with your own with running your business. But what we want you to do is take advantage of those organizations that have workshops and classes. It would not cost you as much as if you were to a business coach like ourselves. Put us out of business or anything. But we do want you to take advantage of a number of events. So
other resources that are available.
So here we go. So now I can share. I was trying to find it. Okay, here we go. So we have coming up on October 18th, the Business Resilience for Unplanned Events and Crises. So many of us, or all of us, went through the pandemic. Some of us were ready, some of us were not ready. So we want to make sure that you are ready for the next unplanned event and or crises, because it's coming. And so on Wednesday, October 18th, at 10 a.m. is a morning session, couple hours. You can hear Miss Patricia V. Click, and she's with VCV Consulting LLC, and they're going to talk about making sure you're prepared for the next event, unplanned event, crises, pandemic, I don't know, government shutdown.
And shout out to Miss Patricia V. Click, man. She's been in the industry for a long time. She got a lot of institutional knowledge, guys. So you check her out on these classes. She knows her stuff. She knows what she's talking about.
Exactly. So that's something that we want you to do. And also, the Taste of Soul is next week. And hey, Miss Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha's tuning in.
Hey, Chacha, Chacharita.
Taste of Soul is going to be here next Saturday. If you're in Los Angeles, it's going to shut down Crenshaw Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 6 o'clock. So if you guys are up to crowds, go on out there. This is an annual event that is held, that is a byproduct of the LA Sentinel. So going over there to the Taste of Soul, Urban League, Los Angeles Urban League will be over there, and some of the other organizations will be there as well. Number of businesses will be there. Entertainment, music, food, you name it, everybody's there. So find out who's in LA and go over and say hello to them. So you can check that out. And that's it. Gilbert, you got your background back up. I don't know what happened to our other thing.
I guess I clicked my heels 3 times and it just came back up. So
It just came back
I don't know
up.
what's going on.
Hey, it's the internet. The internet does that. So anyway, those are some. That's an event that's coming up. And there's a couple others I got in my messaging today, and they asked me to do a shout out. The LA South Chamber of Commerce, they're having a big event on, I think it's also next week. I think it's on the 15th, actually. So let me get that information for us. Yeah, it's the Small Business Expo. It is a limited offer. October when is it? October 26th. So it's Thursday, October 26th from 4 to 8 p.m. So come on out. It's at the Irvin Magic Johnson Recreational Center, which is at 12645 Wadsworth Avenue. I'm not sure where that is, but I know a lot of people have been going over there to that, and I have to find out where that is. But part of the events that they're going to have is business to business networking, industry speakers, generate new leads, get new customers, business resources, reach your target market. These are some of the workshops: business card exchange, small business marketplaces, and a grand brand exposure, refreshments, door prizes. There's free parking. It's free admission for students and veterans and seniors 55 and older. Oh, I can go in for free. Admission is $15, so you can go in. That's not a big deal. And so if you want more information, go over, check out LA South Chamber of Commerce.com, and you'll get all of the details for that. So
all right, sounds good.
That's the community announcements for today.
Well, I just want to follow up with that, folks, and give you a little bit of announcement myself. But before we do that, just want to remind you guys to go to YouTube and click on they call it the subscribe button, but we call it the follow us button. So you click on that follow us button to follow us on the Business Zone. So you know when we come on every Friday from 3 to 4:30. My co-host and I, we've been in this industry for over 30 years. 30 years. And we have a lot of institutional knowledge when it comes to business infrastructure, business setup, business management, business running, your back office, certifications, getting government contract, looking at the forensics of your bookkeeping and accounting. All of that is what we do for small business. And we're not out here trying to kill small business, with overpricing or anything like that. We work very, very reasonably with small businesses to get them up and ready. Our target goal is to get small businesses ready and prepared for the 2026 FIFA World Cup and also the 2028 Olympics that's coming up. You guys really want to be ready for this. This is at least a $5.3 billion spending budget that these guys are going to have on these programs. You guys want to get a piece of that pie. Remember, 2020 came along and it wiped out most of our small businesses. At least 440,000 Black businesses had to close their doors because of COVID back in 2020. There wasn't much opportunities. Most of us were fighting over some little scraps of grants that they put out there for us, telling us, hey, we can help you. But then they start asking for certain documents, which many small businesses never had. They couldn't find their documents because they don't pay much attention to paperwork. So we're stepping in and we're trying to help you guys with that. So my co-host and I, we've put together a program which will help you guys to be ready. We'll have some classes, some coaching sessions, and we'll also have some training to help small businesses become ready for the Olympics and the World Cup. So if you're in the food industry, you're in the food service, you're in retail, you're in construction, you're in professional services, you're in any of those, just remember, we're here to help you, and that's what we do. So we're going to have some classes that will guide and get you ready for these things. I also want to do a shout out to the Inland Empire Hispanic Coalition of Small Business. They are having their annual Hispanic Heritage Anniversary Award ceremony on October 14th, of which I am the procurement chairman of that organization. And we're going to be handing out awards and certificates to some of the folks who went through our procurement training program, which I hosted and I facilitated a few months ago. And that's going to be an amazing event. It's going to be held at the San Bernardino County Airport in San Bernardino County. And we're going to have the mayor of San Bernardino there. We're going to have, we're going to have the executive director, the CEO of the airport. He's going to be there, and he's going to be giving out gifts. The last time he gave some gifts because they're having international flights out of the San Bernardino County airports now. They're going to Vegas. They're going all over the place. So a lot of us, well, I didn't get any because I was busy helping other businesses at the time, but they're giving a lot of free trips, plane tickets. You get plane tickets for free to go to Vegas. So you guys want to sign up for this event. It's coming up October 14th. Now, they're saying there's probably a few seats left, probably 10 or so, because the event went so well last year. And it's amazing, co-host. Last year when we had this event, the now mayor of the city of San Bernardino wasn't in office yet. She was running. She was still running. And I was there. I introduced her on the stage. We were talking about, what she was going to do for the city of San Bernardino. Okay. And she came on. She did some great stuff. And before you know it, she won the election. So now she is the reigning mayor of the city of San Bernardino.
She's coming with some different flair this year.
She's coming with some different flair. And one of the things I love about her is she made history because she is the first Vietnamese American mayor for that city. Yeah, she's just phenomenal. She's just a whippersnapper, man. She makes things happen. Okay. So shout out to Mayor Helen Tran of the city of San Bernardino. Shout out also to the chairman of the Hispanic Coalition of Small Businesses, Mr. Frank Montez. And of course, yours truly, Gilbert Buchanan, coaching and hosting and training some of those small businesses. We'll be handing out awards. We're going to have Edison will be there, the gas company. We'll have McCarthy Infrastructure. And we invited Kiewit. We're not sure if they're going to be there too, but we're going to have a lot of big players. And as a matter of fact, some people, they book hotels and all of that. Hotels have been sold out.
Okay. Now, where is it going to be held?
It's going to be held at the San Bernardino County Airport in San Bernardino.
Okay. cool.
So some folks are going there from the day before so they can get settled in their hotels and do whatever they need to
So they're
do.
gonna
And
make a little festival. They're gonna make
yeah.
well, some of them yeah. So if they're coming from Los Angeles, then
Oh yeah.
yeah, that would make sense. Are you staying down there as opposed to
I
driving
was
there?
I was thinking of it, but I go, man, maybe I'll just drive home. But I don't know. Last year I was so drained I couldn't drive home. I had to book a hotel and
Yeah,
stay there overnight.
you should book a hotel. It's
so it was unbelievable. It's amazing. It's going to be a great event. So I'm excited about that. So I just want to put that out there and let you guys know, man, we're here for you. No matter where you are as a small business, no matter what ethnicity you are, we are here to help you. The Business Zone with Coach Crystal and Coach Gilbert Buchanan. We're here to help you. And co-host, you want to tell them about our anniversary?
Yeah, well, this is our 7th year. It was in July, but of course, I was teaching kids in July. So before the end of this year, preferably in November, we are going to have a celebration of our 7 years. So we're working on the details, and as we come up closer to that, we will make sure you know what that is.
That's right.
Cha wants you to drop that information in about the San Bernardino
Yes.
Hispanic Chamber.
Yes.
So she would like to have that information. I think Cha actually lives out in those areas. She's in Riverside.
I think she's in that area too. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Fernando. Welcome. Glad to have you. So today, guys, we're coming toward the end of the year. We have the extended tax season that's happening in a few days, a few days, literally. So you should be working on this, or at this point, there is no extension. You actually are in the extended time frame. So this means that depending on how much money, if you got to pay money, there may be some penalties incurred because you're not ready, and they're probably not going to be too lenient because you had a whole from April to now. You had like 4 months to get it together, so they might not be too happy with you extending. So they're gonna know that you may have a little penalty since you chose to be a little defiant. Just want you to know that. So, but before we get started, Gilbert, let's go over here. I didn't even pull it up because I had so many other things going on. Let me pull up our commercial, and then we will be getting ready to go.
That's right.
So the chamber is having their celebration one day before the end of their month. But I did find out, because we were asking a couple weeks ago, why was it in the middle of the week? Why was it in the middle of the month?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's why it came up. My girlfriend is Cuban. Yeah. And so last week, we were having a conversation, and she was saying, when did this, because she worked as at the airport at LAX as the HR director for Continental at the time. Now they're United, right? Yeah. And so one of the things she did every single month was they did appreciation, employee appreciation month, and pretty much 75% of their or maybe 55% of their staff were Hispanics, right? Or Latinos or what have you. Mm-hmm. So she says to me, when did this Hispanic Heritage Month thing come up? I don't remember. And being a Latina, she says, I don't remember ever celebrating Heritage Month, Hispanic. I said, well, it looks like it's been here for a long time. Yeah. Because I went on and I Googled it. She goes, why is it in the middle of the month? And so the reason it's in the middle of the month because there's 3 independents
during that
time frame. So
you got Columbus Day, right? And all of that
stuff. Independence of actually in the Hispanic population. Did you know this?
Okay, yeah. So, I think wasn't that time they had the revolution between the US and Mexico?
Right. They had that was there. Then I think the Dominican, so why is it for 3? One is celebrating the ancestors from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. So,
Mhm.
and I think 3 of those initiatives, and it started in for those that might be a little bit on the interest, I mean, a little trivia. It was
Mhm.
started in 1968. So I'm like her. I don't think I had ever celebrated or even heard about it until about 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, but it's celebrated because it actually culminates over the independence of several Latin countries. And so um, the Latin American countries, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, they celebrate their independence on the 15th, Mexico on the 16th, and Chile on the 18th. So they
Mhm.
put it in the middle of September, and they let it carry. So it starts on the 15th and carries over to October 15th because of that reason. So little
I
trivia
see.
for everyone.
That's good to know. I did not know that. I did not know that.
So now you know. 'Cause that was a question. Why in the middle of the month? All right, let's run our commercial
Yes.
for the Small Biz Pro, and then after that, you can tell them a little bit about it, and then we can actually, we can actually get to going. So here's the share. Here's the share, and here's the commercial.
Do you have a tool that organizes your company's paperwork and takes care of all your record keeping? Does your current record-keeping system send you 90-day alerts to remind you that your key documents are about to expire and need to be renewed? Can you find contracts and procurement opportunities in seconds from any of the 50 United States so you can grow your business? Is your business organized so that you can tell which key documents are needed to efficiently run the business? How about woman-owned, small business, or disadvantaged business enterprise certifications? Do you have a checklist of all the key documents you need to become certified? Does your current system allow you to conduct market research from multiple sources and provide you industry and market data in seconds? Well, Small Biz Pro does all of that and more. Small Biz Pro is the #1 business management, compliance, procurement assistance, and market research assistance tool on the market today. Download the app now and you will be amazed. It's like having 3 additional employees working for you, but you don't have to pay them. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting for, guys? Go on out there and get your Small Biz Pro, man. This is a tool you need to run that back office efficiently. You know, it might be February, and you might say, hey, I wonder if my business license for the city of Los Angeles is still valid. Well, the only way you'll know if it's Small Biz Pro, send you a notification and say, you're good to go. Or, no, you're not good to go. So keep that in mind. Your certification with Metro, with the city of Los Angeles, with the county, with any agency that you've conducted certification and contract businesses with, you will be notified if your certification is going to be expired. So you want to check out this platform, guys. You get to store your capability statement, your contracts, your operating documents, your HR documents, all of those key things that you need to run your business. So just go check it out. And stop wasting time. It, it is going to help you to be a more efficient business owner. It's going to make you outperform your competitors. What are you waiting for? Go get it.
All righty. So with that being said, go get it. So guys, this week in the news, there's been all kinds of chaotic stuff going on in the news and in the political world, in the business world. So we all know, some of you have actually been tuned in to the trial that is going on in New York, where the former president, he is actually um, in a civil trial, and it's actually a bench trial. And one of the reasons is because I think he thought he just didn't have to adhere to the rules and regulations of doing business like the rest of us, right? Now, The rest of us can be like that as well. You have the right to do that anytime you want, but I will tell you
There will be
there
consequences.
will be consequences. There will be consequences. And so one of the things that we really wanted to talk about was the fact that your finances matter. Now, this is my area of expertise. And Gilbert and I have talked about this many times. For anyone that knows me, they know that this is near and dear to me. How come I'm not sharing? Oh, yeah, here we go. They know that this is near and dear to me because this is my area. This is what I do every day. I'm a forensic financial auditor for our small businesses. I also teach you how to do your finances and make sure you have your accounting systems in place. And we're going to talk about today why that is so important. So your financials matter. So most of the time you think it's only that you're getting these financials only for the benefit of doing your taxes at the end of the year, right, Gilbert? Most people think that's the only
Most
reason.
people think that.
That is all the only reason that you need your financials is because you got to report it to the IRS. Well, that's one of the reasons, but that ain't the real reason why you have to have a financial structure of your business. Gilbert's going to talk about in the second half. He's going to talk about the his reasons or the other reasons, and I'm going to talk about lessons that should be learned from this case that is being played out in the court system. So one of the reasons is, and why won't I switch, is the financial health of your business and the financial management of your business is your business's success. If you have no idea how much money you're making, if you have no idea how much money you owe, if you have no idea how much what the value of your assets are in your business, and if you have no idea what their liability is in your business, and most importantly, if you don't know the value of your entire business, then you're operating in the blind.
Mm-hmm.
And so financial management is one of the most important responsibilities of owners and business managers. And you, as the CEO, as anybody has been watching the trial, you, as the CEO, are the commander in chief, the last man on the totem pole, the man that will be sued because you signed the documents. So everyone needs to know what the financial condition of their business is, and then every aspect of a business has an impact on your company's financial performance. So it's up to you to make sure that you understand how your business generates revenue, when your business generates revenue, and what is the overall financial health in any given period or point in time. If somebody comes up and asks you for a quarterly statement, second quarter financial statement, you need to not look with a blank look on your face and go, "What do you at? Why are you at? In
Huh? What do you want? What do you say?
second quarter, what's that?" If someone comes up to you and asks you for your balance sheet, you know what that is, and you can provide it, not have to wait and call somebody. You should be able to go to your computer and generate a balance sheet in the moment and send it over to them. Gilbert's going to talk in more detail about this. And also, you should be able to run a profit and loss statement, an income statement, which is the other what it's called. It's either some people call it an income statement, and others call it a profit and loss. And you should be able to read it and analyze it so it can tell you exactly what's going on in your business. Now,
Mhm.
when you hire a person, a bookkeeper or an accountant, you want to make sure that they're applying, and even though you're not a public company, even though you're not a nonprofit organization, you're a sole proprietor or a private company, you want to make sure anyone that's involved with your financial records are operating under GAAP. Now, many of you have heard this week, and if we listen to the very successful multi-million dollar business owners, and they're going, yeah, I heard about GAAP when I was at Wharton's. I think it's general practices. I'm not quite sure. So one of the things that was identified during the Enron scandal was that you, as the CEO and the head of your company, you are the ultimate responsible individual. You cannot use "I didn't know." You can't. Ignorance is not a valid answer to anything.
Just so you guys know this, when you go, and I operate just like this, I operate as if I'm going to go to court next week to defend my business or defend myself. So
Right.
I always have to have my record, my proof, my evidence, my receipts. So when you go to court, the judge is not acceptable for you to present your case stating that I didn't know that. I really didn't think that I should be a part of this when you're the owner of the business, because the judge is not going to listen to you guys. Keep that in mind. That's no excuse. You know, there's a thing in law that says ignorance is no excuse for the law. Okay, keep that in mind.
So keep that in mind. So it is your responsibility to learn about it. And so the general GAAP stands for the General Accepted Accounting Principles. So those of us in the accounting field, we are well aware of what this means. And it really talks about the standardized accounting practice that is utilized to make sure that your financials are accurately reported and managed.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that, co-host? Because I think entrepreneurs really need to understand. See, GAAP is an organ and a policy, an organization that's designed to oversee the accounting principles. They set the rules and guidelines. So you got to operate on that. You can't make up your own rules as you go along.
You can't make up. So it is the common standard of rules, accounting rules, across the board. So Joe Blow in New York can't make up some new rules because Joe Blow in California decides this is the rules they want to use. You cannot individually have your own rules. There is a standardized common set of accounting rules, standards, and procedures that has been issued by the Financial Accounting Standard Board. Not only, and now those of us that are accountants and bookkeepers and so forth, we understand what those are and we comply to them. But sometimes our business owners want to do their own thing.
Let's give them an example there, co-host. So here's an example, guys. You cannot run your business with two different types of books. You got to have one set of books, okay? You can't have two sets of books. Well, one for the public and one for your private purpose. It doesn't work that way. That's an example of what we're talking about, right. General accounting principles.
Yeah, you can't have, and there are people that have some under the counter books, and you can't have under the counter books. Also, your books need to be in a very standardized look. So usually people will tell me, "Oh, I use Excel for my accounting system." No.
That's not an accounting system.
That is not an accounting system. Excel is a spreadsheet that you can put some numbers on, which you're putting the numbers on, and there's always room for human error. So no, that is not your accounting system. There are actually systems out there. And then there's the way things are supposed to be done. I remember, Gilbert, this was probably about 3 or 4 years after the Enron scandal. And I was working for a contractor. I was a contractor for a company, and they were trying to get some loans.
Yeah.
Very similar to the president's issue, because they already were at their limit, their debt ratio.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to talk about that probably in the valuation. They were already at that, so they wanted to change the value of the building and they wanted me to change that number in the accounting system.
Right.
And my answer was no. I operate under GAAP. And there is a document called your property taxes that came in, and it's based upon the most current appraisal for this property. So the government already has the amount. No, I'm not going to create a new amount so that you can get a loan. I'm sorry. You're not going to blame this bookkeeper. So that's when I have actually encountered it, is that individuals have kind of wanted to do their own thing. So now, examples of GAAP violations: if you were actually a renting company, a rental property, and you have escalating rent every month, you change the rent, which is not what they signed for in the contract. So that's an issue. That can be a violation.
That's a big old illegal.
That's
issue.
a big old illegal one. Depreciation. Sometimes people get a little creative with the depreciation of assets.
Yeah, so they create their own depreciation guidelines. Okay, I'm gonna take $20,000 every year from this. It doesn't work that way. If that's not an approved amount, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Exactly. Over or under capitalizing your overhead. So that's another issue. Your overhead costs, how much it actually costs you to do business. So capitalization of that. Overhead is based on your variable and your fixed assets. So you want to make sure that you correct your overhead. Your balance sheet needs to be reevaluated, because a lot of times that's what I see about balance sheets are so outdated. Nothing, depreciation hasn't been done. Old assets are still on the balance sheet. Loans that have been paid off that are on the balance sheet. So these are the things that I have seen on the balance sheet. So it means that, especially Fernando's laughing, especially when you have someone that's not quite knowledgeable in this space. The other violation is accrued vacation and PTO time for employees, for those with employees. So and then the other is uncertain tax positions. So more likely than not, more than 50% approach that a tax position with sustained is sustained under an IRS audit. I believe that our former president, actually said that as well. He couldn't show his financials because he was under tax audit. A long tax audit.
Oh, that was so hilarious. That is so hilarious, man.
So those are some of the violations, and that's why and again, ignorance is not an excuse, and it's not an answer. So you have to make sure that you are on top of what's going on. Ask questions. So
co-host, I got to give you some credit, some props, man. Go back to your previous slide.
Okay.
I love the way you set up this slide. Look at that. That is so appealing and exciting and attractive. Look at that, man. This woman is phenomenal, guys. This is my co-host, right? She isn't just entrenched in bookkeeping and accounting and forensics and all of that. She's entrenched in aesthetics. They said business. There are two dimensions to your business, right? You've got, it's an art and a science. Your business is an art and a science. She does the art like phenomenally. She makes it look so good. And then the science is the process that we do. We make things happen. So I got to give you some props for that.
I use both my my left brain and my right brain. I'm not just a left brainer, right? A right brainer when I do accounting. Some other things that people should be careful of, and I have seen this, is estimating or underestimating or overestimating what are considered business expenses, that those meals, entertainment, and unreasonable compensation.
Yeah.
That's one of them gray areas, guys.
Yeah.
Valuation of deferred tax assets, meaning assets, meaning your net operating losses. That happens a lot, especially in the real estate industry these days. Um, and then converting your capital gains. Let me see, build in capital gains on a conversion to a S corp. So again, you have to have reliable teams that are qualified depending on what your industry is. It will be preferable. It's preferable that your accountant and your bookkeeper and your tax person is has extensive knowledge in the industry you're in. And what is works for one client doesn't mean that it's a one size fit all.
That's
Right.
right. That's
So
right.
you're the business owner. So
Mhm.
you have to be the one to do and ask the questions.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can't assume that they're always doing the right thing.
Mhm.
So that is the one thing. Now there are some I'm just going to go over 4 because we're going to get to the one that Gilbert is going to do. We're going to talk about let's get to this. My next slide. What's happening here? My next slide, the principles. So there are actually 12 principles, but we're going to talk about 4 of those 12 principles that
Mhm.
need to be in place to understand what it means to be in compliance with GAAP, the general accounting accepted accounting principles. So one of those is regular
Regularity.
regular. So you must follow a standard, specific set of rules and regulations. The accounting principles work together, and basically, is the requirement in one part of your financial statement, which could cause other parts to be incorrect. So if you understating or overstating your income, then the net your net operating losses or gains will not be correct. Got to start at the top and work yourself down. So your financial statement includes your income from all your revenue sources, your cost of goods if you have products that you have to purchase raw materials. Then after you subtract that, then you use your gross profit to reduce or subtract from your operating expenses. So any parts of those that you guys make a creative decisions on could throw off the validity of your financial statement. Somebody you submit that financial statement to your lender or to your bank, to a investor, and you have not reviewed every line, then you're basically signing off on something that you have no knowledge of, but ultimately you're the responsible party. So I just want to keep reiterating that. Consistency. These should be there are standards, and it should be consistently applied to the entire accounting process. And a company must verify that these standards have been carried out throughout the company. So everyone, the CEO, the CFO, the controller, the person that's in the accounting manager, whoever that is, everybody should be on the same page so that you're making the same decisions. Sincerity, making sure that is accurate and impartial accounting is imperative, despite being paid by companies that are being auditing. Auditing accountants must prepare truthful and sincere financial statements. So don't be tempting them to do something wrong.
In other words, you cannot tell them, hey, I don't want that on there. I want you to put that my house is worth $100 million, but it's only worth 500,000. Okay.
Right. That also goes back to consistency, because I think there's a revolving valuation going on in New York. And Fernando, so people actually use that as a talking point to defend him. Yeah, that he's very creative. Well, consequences for your creativity. Permanence of method, meaning you can have different but equally valid accounting methods, using either your cash accruals or your cash basis or your accrual basis. One being that you are a business that receives cash and you record your business that way, and the other is that you you create an accounts receivable, and so your income is increase of your income and revenue is going to be based upon the outstanding invoices that have yet to be paid. But however, there's a contractual agreement usually behind those invoices. So the idea or the conception is that at some point they're going to be paid based upon your contract or your MOU with the vendor or the contractor. So that is pretty much the accounting principles. So now, Gilbert, let's jump into the other part of why it's important to have those consistent records.
Man, I was just enjoying you over there, man. You were sounding so good over there, telling us all that good stuff, man.
Well,
All right.
we've been doing this for a long time, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how many companies that you have encountered that the finances is an ignored process in the business?
If I met 100 companies, I would say 90 out of those 100 have ignored their financials and all the financial principles they're supposed to be abiding by. So there's a lot of work to be done, guys. A lot of work to be done. Just the mere fact that many small businesses are using Excel as their financial bookkeeping system. No.
Yeah, that says a lot right there, right?
That says a lot right there.
Everything that you need to know is that they're using Excel.
And then they make up stuff as they go along,
That they do. That they do.
All right.
All right. Now it's up to you.
Yes. So what we want to talk about today, guys, we want to talk about business valuation. Business valuation. So I'm going to repeat that multiple times. Business valuation. What is your business worth? Because I know a lot of small businesses have been wondering, what is my business worth? I've been running this business for 10, 15, 20 years. I think it's worth $1 million. I think it's worth 10 million. I think it's worth 50 million. But you can't just throw numbers out there like that. There has to be things that back up that valuation of your business. And as my co-host just said, with the financials of the business, you got to get an independent third party to verify and validate the value of that business to say, well, this is really what it's worth based on the marketplace, based on other business in your class group in the marketplace, and based on businesses that's doing the same kind of business you're doing. They got the same kind of customers. They're operating in this class. This is what it should be. But they can't just all, willy-nilly tell you those things. They have to have some variables that they're examining in order to give you that type of thing. So business valuation. And I'm sure many of you guys, when you're watching Shark Tank, you hear the sharks ask them for their business valuation. Like some folks will come in and they said, okay, we're looking for an investment of $1 million in this idea that we have, even though we haven't sold a dollar of item on this project, but we still think it's worth $1 million. So then that's when the sharks would come in and say, we don't think that's worth that much, because based on our global idea of how this is supposed to work, we don't think your invention or your product or your service is worth $1 million. And here are the reasons. So if your business is not generating revenues, that's the first thing. If your business is not generating revenues, then for you to really determine a value on that business, it's a little difficult. Bringing in revenues will be a good measuring stick to say, well, at least you're bringing in $500,000 a year. So therefore, we're going to and you've been in business for 4, 5, 6 years, and the revenues has been consistent. So therefore, we'll give you a rough estimate of 4 times that revenue. So you can say, okay, $2 million based on the sales you're making, based on the potential of making additional sales in additional market with additional clients or customers. So those are some of the ways that it can be done. Now, if you are a professional services business and your professional services business is generating that kind of money, it doesn't necessarily mean that another professional services business that's doing similar stuff to you is worth that too. You got to look at it case by case, individual basis. So the question that many entrepreneurs may ask is, why do I need this report? Why do I need a business valuation? And a business valuation is a report that is concluded. It summarizes the value of your business based on a variety of variables that individual who conducts the valuation will tell you that it's worth. You want to definitely get an independent person to do it. You don't want to get someone who is your friend, your buddy, your family members, or someone who has a vested interest like you do, because they will just tell you, like our former president is saying, that is $18 million mansion is worth 1.5 billion, which is crazy. So you don't want to get caught in that situation. So here are some reasons why you need a valuation. If you have a landlord or you have vendors who want to ensure that you have some level of stability in your business, then a business valuation will tell that. It will speak to that. It will say, okay, here's our annual revenues. Here is our projections for the next 3 years. These are the markets we're going to be tapping into. These are a strategic plan to increase sales and that type of thing. So when your vendors or your landlords see that type of reporting, then it will give them some peace of mind to say, okay, I think we can extend their lease because it looks like they're going to be making more money. Or if you're looking for insurance coverage, then you can, some insurance company may say, hey, let me see, do you have a valuation on the business? So then you can make a determination. Okay, our business is solvent. There's money coming in. It's stable. What we're doing is consistent, just like my co-host said, and you can articulate to that insurance company that the coverage you're seeking is adequate to what the revenues are in the business. So that's another thing. If you're raising capital, you want to put debt against the capital, so you can say, well, we're good for this $2 million that we're seeking, because right now we're generating $4 million in sales and revenues, and last year it was less than that. Now we've increased it by 30% or 60% for this year. And, that will bring some peace of mind to your investors if they're looking at that. Now, if you're looking for a fair market value for taxation purposes, that's another reason why you may need a valuation. If you're looking to sell the business, oh, my business is worth $10 million. Okay, how do you arrive at that 10 million? Well, last year we generated 10 million in sales, or last year we generated 15 million in sales. Then, that may fall within a reasonable ballpark where the buyer may say, oh, I can see where the business is worth that, because they're going to look at that. They're going to look at your receipts. They're going to look at your invoices. They're going to look at your accounts receivables, and your customer base. So if you have a customer base also that say, hey, we've got 300 clients out there, and these guys purchase consistently from us, and each one of them spend an average of 50,000 each time, then that may give the buyer some peace of mind and say, this is a good investment. If you're looking at estate planning, and you want to protect your wealth. That's another reason why you do a business valuation, because you know you want to prove to the estate that, hey, this property or this business is worth this amount if we're trying to come to some kind of an agreement. If you're trying to buy out a partner in a business, that's another reason to have a valuation. You know, so these are a lot of good reasons why folks do business valuation. There's a lot of other reasons as well, but buying a business and selling a business, those are some of the key. You may be retiring and you're passing down the business, and we've done a class in session here on exit strategy before. And with exit strategies, that's another way that you do evaluation on your business, because if you're passing down the business to family, to generation, or to your employees, if you have employees with employee stock options within the company, then doing a valuation will really give them some sense of peace of mind to say, yeah, this is worth what they're offering us, and they're telling us that it's worth. So those are some good reasons for that too. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys, so that you can understand that. So measuring your business valuation can be done in a lot of different ways, but you want to make sure you insist on the right way, the correct way of doing this business valuation, and make sure the way in which you do it is a viable way. Now, when you're doing your business valuation, guys, here are some key things to think about. Have you ever heard of the word EBITDA? EBITDA. EBITDA. EBITDA.
Yeah, their accountant probably mentioned it, and it probably went like this. It's been mentioned in their presence.
So I want, guys, after today, I want you guys to pay attention to that word. It's an acronym, right? EBITDA, EBITDA, EBITDA. And that means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Okay, I'll say it again. EBITDA means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So if you have an idea of what that is, you don't have to be, super smart to know what this is, but just have an idea, because when your taxes is being done every year by your tax preparer, or your financials are being done by your bookkeeper and your accountant, they are putting that EBITDA there on your financial statements. There's a section for EBITDA that you need to know about. If you guys have ever done a certification with the state of California, on there, there's a page on there that has your EBITDA. And you have to have an idea what your EBITDA is, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. So when you're selling your business, you want to have an idea of that, okay? So some folks, some business owners, they think that if they multiply their profit or earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, then in some way they can use that as a rule of thumb to generate what they think their business valuation is. And that's not how it works. Now, many of you might be asking, so how do we go about doing our business valuation, since we can't do it that way? And since we can't make up our own numbers, since we can't go to the court and tell the judge that, hey, judge, I think my little 18
you could.
Yeah, you could. You could, but no one's going to take you seriously. They're going to think you're a loony. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to get a certified person, someone who is certified to do business valuation, guys. There's a lot of brokers out there, a lot of agents who say, oh, we can do business valuation. But what proof do you have that they know how to do this? You got to get someone. And sometimes if you have a CPA, a certified public accountant, if you have that person can lead you in that direction and say, hey, let me do some research on this. Let me see who are some of the qualified, certified business valuation experts in the marketplace. And then they can make some referrals to you. But you want to be able to do that. And if you want, you can go online, you can look up some of these guys, and you can vet them. You can vet them, talk to them, see if they know what they're talking about, and see if they're trying to sell your business so they can make a big profit out of your business instead of you making a profit out of your business too. So there's so many ways, guys, you got to do this. So we just want to put that out there to all of you guys so that you know what a business valuation is, and also have an understanding of why you need a business valuation. Because if you're running your business, you never know. Someone could approach you tomorrow and say, hey, I want to buy your business. Now, what are you going to say? Are you going to say yes, no? Do you know what your business is worth?
And most people don't, because if you're looking for an investor, that is a big that's a big question that comes up is, because you would, like you said earlier, you would base that investment on the value of the company.
Yes.
And back in when the .com era came about, there were people that were valuating their businesses and they had not even made the first sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a concept.
You're right.
It was a concept, a business pitch,
right?
Some projected numbers of what they would love to make.
Yes.
But there was nothing tried and true because they were brand new. And so and most time in the digital world, how do you generate revenue?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so I worked at that time. I learned a lot at this point in time, because you learn a lot when you work for a publicly traded company.
Right.
So most of the tech companies eventually get to that position. So I worked for a company that went public, and they had just gone public. Like, I started in October. They had gone public. They had gotten their first investment in August. And they got $12 million on a concept, and it had not been proven. They were proving it while we were working every day.
Oh my Lord.
And so in that 10 months, and I was in the accounting department, so I got to see everything. In that 10 months that I was there, we blew through $12 million.
Right.
And we made, out of the $12 million investment, we made $350,000, which was almost a fluke, because they really didn't have a real business model.
Just a concept, right?
Just a concept. So back there, you could do that, but it was all about the stock market, right? Inflation, and long as they kept the hype going, the stock market was going well. It's stabilized now.
Right.
After the .com crash, they realized that you have to have a real valuation.
Yeah.
And you have to have and this is important to everyone, you have to have a real business model.
Yes.
You have to truly understand how your business makes money. And in this day and age, we can't just assume that one revenue stream is enough. It's not. So I was consulting with a client the other day, 2 clients, and they were in the food industry. So the one thing about being in the food industry, it has very, very small margins.
Yes.
If you were going to sell that business, you have to take in consideration that they're only going to make under 15%, if that much.
Yeah.
Maybe most of them are somewhere between 5 and maybe 10% in profit, because it's high labor. It's labor, and you have high labor costs, and you have your cost of goods are usually half of the revenue that you bring in. 45 to 50% of the revenue that you bring in. So you have to do other things that doesn't require labor. So that means you need products. You need something to sell.
Sell some merch or something like that.
Yeah, you gotta have some sort of merch. You gotta have a recipe book, or you gotta have something that you can put on a website and people will buy, and you don't have to do anything in order to sell it. And you got to make sure you're marketing that, because other than that, I mean, I would I would think 3 or 4 times before buying a restaurant. Even the most popular restaurant out there has very small margins.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Yeah,
you, right?
that's true. That is true. I've seen them, and that's why the restaurant and food service business is so volatile. And a lot of banks don't even want to invest their money in that because they may have a good year last year, and this year is just atrocious. Look at COVID back in 2020. All those restaurants were suffering.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were suffering.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then that gave rise to the food delivery business, which is Grubhub and all of these little DoorDash and all of these little companies. They pop up in order to offset some of that stuff. So it's crazy.
Right, exactly. So certain businesses, it's vitally important that you do
Mm-hmm.
a business valuation, because you want to, first of all, you want to know if you're putting all this money in, what you're getting out of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And as Gilbert and I have spoken before, having an exit strategy, a succession plan, is really important to a business. So you
Very.
know when to give up if you have to give up.
Yeah. And it's very easy, guys. Think about it this way. If you go to Vegas, you go to the casinos and you're playing, you're gambling. And let's say you're winning. You win one time, you win 2 times, you win 3 times. At the 3rd time that you win, you're going to start questioning yourself. You're going to go, do I continue or do I stop here? Because if I continue, I know I'm going to lose this back because the house always wins. So
Mhm.
it's the same thing with the business concept. You got to look at it the same way. Once you're up, you got to start making some real valuable decisions as to, do I want to continue this process? How does it work? What's our exit strategy? And having that exit strategy in place, you got to have a valuation to show what the value of the business is while you're exiting.
Right, exactly. So we know that this is the least sexy part of doing business. It's so much
Yes.
more exciting to be out there with, with your sales strategy and your marketing strategy.
Yeah.
But why have those if you're not maintaining and tracking the financial health and wealth of your business?
Yes. And the thing about it, guys, we're not trying to scare you or anything like that. We just want you to become more educated and informed business owners. So what you want to look at is look at your business, see what it's worth. What is your revenue right now? Like I say, on Shark Tank, they'll let you get away with 4 times your revenue, right? They'll let you get away with that. So if you're making 500,000, they'll say, okay, we'll give you some leeway for up to 2 million on this. But you got to have a system in place that will show that, okay, you're going to be generating more revenue. You're going to be increasing sales. You're stepping into different markets to help increase this. For example, there are certain business like software business, like my business, Small Biz Pro, for example. Small Biz Pro and businesses like that is considered software as a service, right? Software as a service type business. So when you're doing software as a service, that means you're generating revenues online. People are purchasing online. You may give them discounts. You may have different type of services that you offer depending on the plan. And money might be coming in that way. And you got to put systems in place to continuously generate that kind of revenue. And that model right there, when you have a software as a service type business, people go crazy with their valuation on that. Because if they're selling, let's say they're making $1 million, right, with the software as a service type business, they may say, oh, this business is worth 40 million. And the question is, how do you come up with that? Just because you may have one strong quarter or 2 strong quarters doesn't necessarily mean that the business is worth that. So you got to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, guys, when you're running a business, and depending on the type of business it is, how it's structured. Do you have different types of streams of revenues in place? Like my co-hosts always say, you want to have 7 to 9 different streams of revenues coming into your business. If you don't have 7 to 9 different type of streams of revenues coming into your business, like the business is like not too sustainable. So you want to make sure you have all of those. And what are some of the different streams of revenues? Well, if you're selling certain types of products or services, you may want to sell some merch over there. You may want to sell some services. You may want to sell warranty. You may want to sell training. You may want to sell all types of things to expand on your streams of revenue. So keep building. So when a buyer look at that type of business, they go, oh, there's several streams of revenue here. Yeah, there's a possibility that we can grow this, to a larger extent. So that's how you look at your valuations, guys. Now, when you're seeking valuators, you, like I say, you want to do your due diligence. You want to vet these guys. You can go online and you can find somebody, but this is what I do. This is what I did in the past. I would invite them to my office and I would meet with those guys and I ask them a whole lot of questions. Now, you may not want to wait until you meet with these guys to start asking them questions. Write down some questions. How long you've been in the industry? Have you provided business valuation for this type of business, for my type of business before? And if you did that, what were the results? Your evaluation, was it on point? And how is it in comparison to the market? And how long is this valuation good for? You want to have all types of questions about the valuation and the person's back. Conduct some background on them, because you may find that some of these valuators are people who come in and tell you that your business is worth all of this. They generate a report for you, charge you all this money for it, and then when you go to sell, the buyers are going, are you crazy? I'm not paying $2 million for that. That is worth about $300,000. I'm not paying $3 million for that. Then again, some people may owe a lot of people. Some people may have lawsuits against them. They may have liens against them. All of that is going to bring down the value of your business, guys. And that's why I say you always want to stay on top. Like my co-host said, you can't blame the other guy for things that you're not doing in your business. It's your business.
It's your business.
You need to know what's going on. You need to know what lawsuits are against you, what liens are against you. Don't blame it on the bookkeeper or the CPA and say it's their fault. They should have known. You should have known. You're the owner of the business.
True that. Oh, I think I'm not on. Let me see. Why am I not on? Let's see. Hold on. Let me get me back on. I'm going to come out and come back in.
All right. So, guys, while we're speaking about this valuation, I just want to, take it a step farther to let you understand that get your valuation done today. Not because you're not going to sell your business today. Doesn't necessarily mean you should know the value of your business. You want to know the real value, because if your business is worth $3 million, someone come in and offer you $10 million for the business. Would you consider selling for $10 million, especially if you've been in the business for, 7-10 years or so? That might be something you want to think about. That might be something, because I have so many ideas in my mind, so many inventions and all of that. I just don't have all the time to attend to many of those. So if I could sell one of my businesses and then move on to raise and foster a different type of business, then that would be great for me. But that's just me. Maybe some of you, you gave birth to your baby, your business, and you want to stick around with it. But just remember, man, when you give birth to a child, after 18 years, they're on their own. So when you have your business, after a certain period of time, that business is on its own. You can't keep nurturing and fostering and babying that business. Gotta let it free, let it do its thing. So I just want to put that out there, guys, so you know it. Are you back, co-host?
Why am I not on here? Let's see.
Yeah, you're frozen. You're frozen right now. Yeah.
Let me see if I can re-establish myself.
Okay. I guess they're trying to give you a valuation there. That's why. But folks, please think about finding out the value of your business, because opportunities come when you least expect it. I've gotten a lot of calls from folks all the time saying, hey, are you trying to sell your business? No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Once I think I'm at a certain point, then I'll say, yes, I'm ready. Or they may give me an offer that I just can't refuse. And I'll say, hey, I want to go forward with this offer right here. Let's sell. Let's sell. I'm selling. So if you come to me and say, oh, Small Biz Pro, I think Small Biz Pro is worth $50 million. What do you think? Do you want to buy it? Sure, go for it. I'll sell it right now and move on to my other ideas, because I've got lots of other undeveloped ideas that I really can put on the marketplace, guys. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, I want you to put it in the chat for me. Put those questions in the chat so that we can discuss your questions and we can really take care of things. And I see I got my marketing expert in the chat here. We got Chacha McGinnis from California Beacons. Shout out to you, Chacha. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And Black Business Los Angeles Online Community. Much respect to you as well. We also got Pat Langford on here. Much respect to you as well, Pat. So thank you guys for tuning in with us, supporting our business. And if you have questions, man, regarding this business valuation or any other information regarding this, just put it out there. But I want all of you small businesses to start paying attention to your financials. Like I say, we don't expect you to become experts with your balance sheet, your profit and loss, your statement of cash flow. But you need to know about them. Need to know a little about it. You may not know everything about everything, but if you know a little bit about everything, it really, really helps. For example, on your balance sheet, you need to know what type of items are on the balance sheet. On the balance sheet, you've got cash on hand, you've got, your overhead expenses, you got all those types of things on there. On your profit and loss, you got sales, you got overhead, all of that on there. So you need to have an idea, guys. Have an idea what those things are. Because if you're dealing with a bookkeeper or an accountant who is a little shifty and not too reliable, they can run circles around you. Right, co-host?
Yes, they can. I'm back, guys. I don't know. My computer just kicked me out. Got a little hot.
They can run circles around you, and then you be left there saying, trying to figure out what happened. You need to know what happened on those financials.
Well, that's usually when I get called in.
To do some forensics. Right?
Yeah, that the bookkeeper come along and you're like, thank you, Fernando. The bookkeeper, one of the agencies that I work for, organizations, and they asked me to look at it. I'm like, why did they post this here? I mean, sometimes it's so you have to go. There was two this last year I did, and it was so obvious, or earlier this year, thinking, what would have made them post this here? I mean, it was like one of them literally where they took the cost of goods. No.
Yeah.
They put the cost of goods what was it? It was something they did that should have been on the balance sheet, and they put it under the expense.
Right.
And it was some sort of renovation or something they did. It was a renovation that should have been on the balance sheet for landhold improvements.
Yeah.
They actually put it on the front of the sheet. And when they did on the front of the financials under operating expenses. So, of course, it's landholder. You're going to do it one time, but it needs to be capitalization. So that was one. And then the other one was the inventory. It didn't go under inventory. It came under operating expenses.
What?
Yeah.
You put inventory under operating expenses?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my Lord.
So and the lender's like, Oh my God, you made no money. How could that be? Well, it's inventory, and they hadn't actually even paid for all of the inventory, so it wasn't like cash that gone out. They
Yeah,
took the total amount, but
yeah.
half of the inventory was still in China,
Wow, wow.
and they had not paid for it. They'd only paid for so much of it, but it should have been under. So those are the things, guys. So you can't just always make an assumption that it's done right. And if you don't have a bookkeeper that after they've gone through the process of reconciling and your financial reports, they now need to sit down with you and go over those financial reports with you and help you understand what was done and why it was done.
Another thing that I did not mention in here that I want to throw in real quickly, guys. If you have a business, and another reason for knowing the valuation is if you are married, for example, let's say you're married and you get to the point, the horrible point of, doing a divorce or a separation, then the attorney on the other side, they will want to know the value of your business, and then they want to put a price on that. And they're gonna try to make sure they get as much value out of that business as possible. So another reason for you to know the value of your business, guys, because if you have a certified certified valuator who's done a report, who is an expert in the industry, said, yeah, your business is worth 20 million, and somebody else is saying, no, it's worth 40 million. You can say, this is a certified business valuator that's saying this, and this is their expertise, this is their qualifications. I'm not giving away that much of my business. Or even if you're doing an SBA loan, sometimes the SBA do valuations on your business. So, there are several reasons, guys, why you may need a valuation on your business. So,
and it's just a good thing to know especially after you've been in business 4 or 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, where you've just been working in that business. You got to sometime Rays come up out of the working in your business and look back and go, okay, yeah, I'm doing good, because that it's a validation for you on how well you're doing in your business, that is growing, and and the more connected you are to the financial health of your business, of course, means that there's going to be the more success you have. But you can't ignore that component of the business. That's a valuable component. Everything drives into the revenue. Every aspect of the business drives into the revenue.
So, co-host, I'm going to ask you a question right off the bat, okay? If I approached you and I said, hey, co-host, I want to buy your business, I'll give you 15 million for it, what would your response be?
My businesses would not be valued at 15 million.
I know it may not be, but what would your response be? What would your response be?
Well, I think you also have to investigate the investor. So you have to do your due diligence.
Hey, man, if my business is worth 5 million and they're giving me 15, I'm saying, sure, where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Yeah, but there's due diligence.
because I already know how much my business is worth, because I already did my valuation on it. See what I mean?
Exactly.
So if you're offering me 15 million when it's only worth 5 million, go, sure, go ahead, let's sign. And they're not asking me too many questions. They're not asking me about my taxes for the last 7 years. They're not asking me if I have any liens against me. They're not asking me if I'm in any court battles.
You're going to reverse the ignorance piece, huh?
Yeah, exactly. They're not asking me any of that. I'm going, sure, let's sign off right here.
Okay, so if that's the case, and you're not going, they're not going to do their due diligence.
Yeah. I am selling that in a jiffy.
You can sell that. I guess you would sell that. If that's it, they're like ready to write the check, and they haven't done their due diligence, possibly. But even on the other side of it, you got to do your due diligence as well. You need to
definitely. So, guys, here's the deal, guys. We have an ebook right here, and it's called Introduction to Business Valuation. An Introduction to Business Valuation. If you guys are interested in this ebook, it's 22 pages. If you're interested in this book and you want to get a copy of it so you can learn about business valuation, I want you guys to go ahead and put your email in the chat. Go ahead, put your email in the chat, and we will send you a copy of this book. Okay? And that's for all of you guys who have subscribed to us. If you have not subscribed, and again, I hate using the word subscribe because it sounds like we're asking for money. We're not asking you guys for any money. We just want you guys to follow us, right? So just go to that subscription button and just imagine that it says follow us, right? And put your info in there, and we will send you guys a copy of this this business valuation book, so you can start thinking about it. And this is for closed corporations, and this is also for corporations who issue stocks. They're on the stock market as well.
Okay. So public and private.
Public companies. And private, yes.
Yeah.
So this will be a very good book that you guys can use, and this is a benefit that you're getting out of the business zone, guys. So keep that in mind.
Okay. So Gilbert, before we close out, Chacha wanted to know if you could drop that information for the chamber. Do you have the chamber?
I emailed it to Chacha.
Okay.
I emailed it to her and to Pat. I sent her the flyer.
Okay.
And hopefully you guys can go ahead and register for that event in the Inland Empire. Chacha, you didn't get a copy? I email it to you. Check your email. I can send it to you again.
Okay.
And I'll send you a copy of the business valuation ebook also. Okay, Chacha? And everyone else who wants it, just go ahead and put your email in the chat, or you can just request. Just put request. And some of you, I don't know your email, so just put your email. So you can actually
put it in the chat. They can put it in the chat, and they can go to YouTube and put it in the chat. While you're over at YouTube, make sure you subscribe.
That's right, guys.
Or follow, as Gilbert would say.
Follow us, guys. Follow us.
You can actually hit this take your camera and click this subscribe to our channel.
That's
QR
right.
code. So many easy ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
But do know, guys, we are here every Friday afternoon at 3:00, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, 3 Facebooks actually, and LinkedIn. And you can even find us over at Mr. Gilbert's Facebook this week.
All right. I'm stepping up my game.
And actually, it's streaming on your LinkedIn.
It's streaming on my LinkedIn. It's streaming on my Facebook Live right now, guys. Thanks to my co-host and my marketing expert, Chacha. She's been telling me, why don't you get connected to LinkedIn? Why don't you get connected to Facebook? Well, I did it today. She's giving me an applause right there.
Yeah, I let her know that we were streaming live on your LinkedIn today. It's not on mine. I gotta put the link over on mine. But there you have it. So Gilbert is actually streaming live.
I am active. I am active. And folks, those of you who are watching this show right now and you have not followed or subscribed to subscribe to us, don't be a ninja watcher, man. Just go ahead and subscribe to us and follow us so we can get you a copy of this ebook on business valuation, and also we can send you other information that will help to grow your business. Okay?
Awesome. So this has been a great show. Just know, guys, I just thought it was kind of needed based upon what was going on. And sometimes the headlines just makes for a great show.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So are we going to do a class in session again next week, co-host?
Actually, no, we have guests next week. We got a guest next couple of weeks. So we're going to do guests next week. So please tune in and we will have a guest. I have all the information. Don't be a ninja watcher. Yeah, I like that.
Fernando's laughing at my statement. Don't be a ninja watcher, guys. You make sure you subscribe, you follow us, So we know who you are, okay?
Right, exactly. Don't be a ninja. That's your coin speech. I love that.
Yes.
Don't just be hanging around watching us in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
Watch us in the foreground, people in the foreground.
That's what I'm talking about. I hope this information that we provided you today, guys, my co-host and I hope it on financials and what financial statements and documentation to have ready and available in your business, and also to be able to ready and conduct the business valuation on your business. I hope it was very helpful and you guys are able to use this information to grow your business and become much stronger. Okay.
Right. And we want you to evaluate your business. It's important that you do that.
Yes.
You need to know where you are, and just know that your financials is just not for filing taxes. Your financials are really about you and your business, and making sure that you're monitoring the financial stability of your company, and also the structure, the financial structure. You don't want to wait to something like a pandemic or some other crisis to take effect and to take place, and then that's when you find out that there were some holes in your dike and you
Yeah.
needed to fill it up. We
Yeah.
need you to make sure you know before that. So maintaining an accounting system, not a spreadsheet. An
Mhm.
accounting system is
Yeah.
not about taxes. It's about understanding and knowing the value of your business, the generation of your revenue, and how much money you're spending in your operating expenses. That's what it's
Chacha put a Ninja Watcher icon on here. A Ninja Watcher icon.
Right.
She's laughing.
So that's what it's about. It's about you understanding how your business works and how successful your business is as you go along. Not to find out at the end of the year. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. So
that's
very
right.
true.
That's
I have,
right.
I have so many people, not so much now because they've been following my advice for years now. But in the beginning, when I first started my practice, especially the coaching piece of it, I'd
Yeah.
ask people how much they make, and they'll go,
They don't know.
what? Well, let me look at my tax return. You
Oh
got to look
Lord.
at your tax return to see how much you make. Well, trust me.
you, you gotta be able to count your own money, man. If you don't know how to count your own money, someone else will count it for you. And guess what? They'll be getting a portion of that. So you don't want Uncle Sam counting your money for you. You better be able to count your own money. All
You
right.
truly don't want Uncle Sam to count your money, because I'll tell you, somebody could be stealing from the store.
Yeah, somebody was stealing and you don't even know it. And
Right.
you find out last minute. So no, let's not do that, guys. And make sure that you guys are following us here on the Business Zone, and we'll provide you with all the information you need to grow your business. Again, I want to put a shout out to you guys. I am looking for environmental engineers. I'm looking for minority companies that own a lodging business like a hotel. I'm looking for cleaning services, minority or disadvantaged businesses. I'm looking for food service entrepreneurs who are minorities or disadvantaged businesses. Janitorial services, those are the services I'm looking for, because right now I'm conducting outreach for an organization that would like to do business with disadvantaged business enterprises. So if you're certified, we can help you. If you're not certified, we can still help you. We'll help you package your certification if you're in those industries. Environmental engineering, lodging, mean hotel, cleaning services, food service, janitorial service. All right. And transportation service also. So if you provide transportation service where you can shuttle someone from the airport to somewhere else, or from an airport to a hotel, or from point A to point B, you shuttle them in a limousine or some kind of transportation vehicle, then I want to talk to you guys. So keep that in mind. I'm going to put my information in the chat, and this is primarily for the Los Angeles and San Diego area. So if you guys are conducting business in those areas, I want to talk to you. So I'll put my information.
Fernando says reach out to he's going to reach out to you on the food services. He has a few.
Okay, beautiful.
And Chacha, maybe in some of your network of individuals, you might have some folks that
Chacha might know a few people as well. So reach out to me, guys. Reach out to me. Like I say, I'm preparing you guys for the Olympics and also for the FIFA World Cup. So you never know when an opportunity may come your way. All right.
Okay. Well, sounds good to me. We're gonna end the show. I gotta go water my plants because my plants are very confused right now. They don't know whether it's summer or fall.
They're going, where's my mom?
so I gotta go water them because it was 90 degrees or some crazy something going on out there. So I gotta go water them so that they'll know that they okay.
All right, folks. Well, tune in again next Friday. We're here every Friday from 3 to 4:30. This is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday. If you want to be a guest on the show, just give us a call, send us an email, and we will take your headshot. We will take a bio from you, and we'll interview you live so the world can hear and learn about your business and get to see the genius of what you bring to the table, okay?
Sounds good.
And we want to thank our viewers today. We want to thank Chacha. We want to thank from California Beacons. We want to thank Fernando from Black Business Los Angeles Online Community. We want to thank Pat Langford. Who else do we need to thank here, Crystal?
I think that was all that was on today, and then there's a number of them watching on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we have some Ninja Watchers. We want to thank you, Ninja Watchers, too.
Yeah, there you go, Ninja Watchers.
But make sure you go and you subscribe or follow us, guys. So, because if you don't follow us, we can't send you this ebook that we went over today on business valuation. Okay, so only the folks who provide us their email and contact information, like Fernando and Chacha and Pat, will receive this ebook on business valuation today. Okay, for the rest of you, if you need it, just contact me. My phone number is in the chat. All right.
All righty. So we will see you next week, and you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the heat, and we'll see you next Friday. Bye bye, everyone.
Take care now.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.